Okay, so now we're going to download and install OpenVBX to our hosting account. And with your hosting account, you'll need PHP and MySQL. Most hosting accounts provide that these days, but just to make sure. Now, go to openvbx.org, and we're going to look for the download link. And we have a couple options. Go ahead and download the zip file. I like to right-click and save link as. I've already downloaded it, but you would select a location on your computer, click Save, and then remember where you saved it. Now what we want to do is we're going to go into our hosting account control panel. I'm actually using panel. So I'm logged into the cPanel installation, and we are going to scroll down and look for the file manager. Click on File Manager. Here's where you would go to upload your file. So click on Upload. Regardless of whatever file manager you have, look for an upload link. Click that. It'll take you to a place where you can browse to the file that we just downloaded. Select that, open it, and it'll upload to your account. Here's the one I previously uploaded. Now we need to unzip this file. So in this case, I can right-click on it, or I can select it and click on the Extract button here. It's going to ask me where. I'm just keep it right here in the default, the root folder. Again, make sure when you upload your zip file, make sure you're in the root web folder. Usually it's something like public HTML or www or something like that. Extract these files and close that window. Now we see a new folder here, and I'm just going to go ahead and rename this because this will serve as our part of our web address or URL to get to our OpenVBX installation. So we want to keep it kind of easy and short. So if I rename this, I'm just going to call it OpenVBX. Okay, once that's done, we can actually browse to our domain name / OpenVBX, and when we bring that up, we'll see the installation screen here, and it looks like everything checks out okay. A couple things we don't have, but they're optional. One thing to note is we're going to need our database credentials and our Twilio account information handy. So we'll go into the database setup portion now. So if you go back into your cPanel and look for your MySQL databases, right here's mine, and we'll want to create our database. There's a couple, 2 or 3 steps to this depending on your hosting control panel, but in this case we have to create the database first. I'm going to name it OpenVBX. Note that the name will actually, my database name will actually be prefixed with my user name. This isn't necessarily the case for you, but kind of make a note of this because you're going to need this information as you set up OpenVBX. So create database, and I see that my database name is tweedca_OpenVBX. So keep that in mind. And now we have our database, but we need to create a user for this database. So let's scroll down. Let's create a new user. You can name it whatever you want, whatever your system allows. And you need to give it a password. And create the user. So the username is OpenVBX and my password is password. Okay, don't use that for your password, but for this demo, this is what I'm going to use. You might want to pick something a little better than that. Okay, we have our user. Now we need to add our user to the database. So we created the database first. We created our user, and now we need to add the user to the database. So you see we have a current user right here, and that's the one we created. Also note that it's prefixed here. And okay, so here's the user, and I want to add that user to this database. So both of those are selected by default. I'm going to click Add, and I'm going to give it all privileges and make those changes. And now we see we have this user that has access to this database. Okay, so that's all we need in order to begin using, or to actually install OpenVBX. So go back to my install screen here. We're going to click Next. And it's going to ask for database information. In my case, it is localhost. It is not always the case. So look for that in your control panel. It may be localhost. It may be something else. Lots of times, or most of the time, I would say it's localhost. Okay, our database name is tweetca_openvbx. Our username is actually the same, and then our password. Entered that, click Next. And now we need to enter our Twilio, what's called our SID and our token. So let's go to Twilio.com. So at Twilio.com, you want to go to the free trial or the Get Started button. Either one takes you to the same place. And all you got to do is fill out your contact info here, first name, last name, email, select the password, click Try Twilio, and what will happen is you will be logged into your account. I'll go ahead and show you what the account looks like on the inside. Once you log into your account, you'll see something probably a little different than this because I've already added some funds to my account. But when you first create your account, you'll have $30 to play with. But in order to go live, so to speak, with your account, you'll need to add, I think it's a minimum of $20. So you'll actually end up with 50. So you put in 20, they give you 30, you have $50 to start with. And then you will need to add, as part of that process of adding your $20, they'll ask for your credit card information, and that will be attached to your account. There's some auto replenish function so that if you ever go below a certain dollar amount, it can automatically add another $20 or something like that. Okay, so once you have your account, the information you're going to need to finish your installation of OpenVBX is this account SID right here. So I'm going to copy and paste this. Paste that in here. Okay, and we're back into our Twilio account, and you also need this auth token. So you'll click on this to reveal your token, which will look something like this. I'm not going to reveal mine on this video because that's something you want to keep private. But if you click to show that, you can then copy and paste that into your installation. So I copied it. I'm going to paste it in here. And once you've done that, you can click Next. And then you can select an email address where notifications will come from. So you can paste or copy and paste your email address, or just type your email address in. So whatever email address you add in here, that'll be any notifications that come from the website. So if you're setting this up for a client or something like that, you might want to use a different address. So next. And now you want to create some login information, so I'll fill this in. All right, so I've filled in this form with my name, email address, and I've selected a password. Now the last step is to click the install button. Now one thing I've noticed is that I've clicked the install button, but it did take a while for this installation complete to show up. So just be patient. It could take a few seconds or a minute for it to actually complete. So now I can go ahead and log in. Now I have the login screen, and I can type in my email address and password that I've selected in the previous screen. Okay, so you'll see something like this to start with. It'll say, hey, you don't have any phones set up, which is okay. For the purposes of this demonstration or this lesson, you don't actually have to add a device to it, although it might be a good idea. But right now we're going to skip it. But what you would do to add a device is you would just type in your phone number. That way when you get voicemails or if you want to forward phone calls to your mobile, things like that, it will remember your phone number. But right now we don't actually have to do this. So we are actually up and running with our OpenVBX installation right now. So I'm going to end the video here, and then we'll look into the next steps of actually how to add plugins and things in order to actually use OpenVBX specifically for SMS and text message list building.